If you're a leader in life sciences, you are constantly walking this tightrope, right? On one side, you've got this immense pressure to get new drugs to market faster. And on the other, you're dealing with the staggering financial risk of development. Every single decision feels like a high-stakes bet. But what if? What if a specific technology investment could fundamentally change that whole equation? Okay, let's dive in.
So, this is the massive question we're tackling today, and it's all based on a groundbreaking new study. I mean, a six-fold return? That is an absolutely bold claim in any industry, let alone in the super complex, high-cost world of clinical R&D. So, is it for real? And if it is, how is that even possible? Let's find out.
All right, we are going to cut right to the chase here. Researchers from the Tufts Center for the Study of Drug Development and the Digital Medicine Society, well, they just published this really comprehensive financial assessment. And their findings are, well, let's just say they are a total game changer. And here it is, the headline number. The study found that putting digital endpoints into late-stage phase 3 clinical trials can give you a return on investment of between 4 and 6 times your initial cost. We're not talking about some minor efficiency gain here. This is a major value driver that honestly demands our full attention. And just to be clear, this isn't speculation, this is the direct conclusion from the paper itself, published just this year. The authors stated unequivocally, this technology provides substantial extra value. So the big question becomes, what's really behind this massive return? So before we dig any deeper into the why behind these incredible numbers, let's just make sure we're all on the same page about the tech itself. The term digital endpoints is getting a lot of traction, so let's quickly define exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so a digital endpoint is basically data that you gather outside of the clinic using modern tech. Think about smartwatches, sensors, or other wearables that are collecting objective, quantifiable information about a patient's condition, but continuously in their actual real-world environment. This lets us move way beyond those sporadic, in-clinic snapshots to a much richer, more complete picture of a person's health. Now, for numbers this big, I know the first question any sharp leader is going to ask is, okay, how did you calculate that? The credibility of a 6x ROI figure rests entirely on the strength of the financial model. So, let's pop the hood and take a look. The researchers use the absolute gold standard for valuing R&D projects, the Expected Net Present Value Model, or ENPV. Now, this isn't some simple cost-benefit analysis. It's a really sophisticated technique that forecasts all future costs and potential revenues of a drug, and then it discounts them based on risk and time. It's how the industry truly values its assets. The whole process was incredibly methodical. First, they modeled the standard cash flows for drug development without any digital endpoints. Then, step 2, they factored in the specific costs of actually implementing the technology. And finally, they measured the resulting increase in the project's total value, that ENPV. It's from this increase that they calculated that return on investment. And now we get to the really interesting part, the data. Because what the researchers found is that the financial benefit here, it's not spread evenly across the clinical trial process, not at all. In fact, the value is highly concentrated, and I mean highly concentrated, in one specific area. Just look at this stark contrast. For phase 2 trials, sure, the value is positive. You get a few million in added value and a respectable ROI under 50%. But then look at phase 3. The value creation just explodes to between $27 and $40 million, delivering that incredible 4 to 6x return. So why? It really comes down to scale. Phase 3 trials are vastly larger, more complex, and exponentially more expensive. So even tiny improvements in efficiency or data quality have this enormously amplified financial impact. This visual just says it all, doesn't it? The difference is undeniable. While, yeah, there's some value in phase 2, the game-changing financial impact is overwhelmingly concentrated in phase 3. This is where everything is at its peak. The cost, the patient numbers, the risk. And it's precisely at that peak that richer data and faster, more efficient trials truly pay off, turning what is a smart investment into a massive competitive advantage. So what does this all mean for you as a leader? This data isn't just some interesting academic finding, it's a strategic roadmap. It points directly to a new source of competitive advantage in what we all know is a fiercely competitive industry. The takeaways here are crystal clear. The data is screaming that we should prioritize digital endpoint adoption right where it has the most leverage, in those pivotal late-stage trials. This means you have to reevaluate your budgets to make room for this kind of investment. And the prize isn't just the financial return. It's a critical speed-to-market advantage. This is a chance to rethink trial design from the ground up, using much richer data to make better decisions faster.
So, we'll end with this question. The financial case has been made, and the numbers are pretty darn compelling. The crucial point now is moving from knowledge to action. Is your organization positioned to capture this value, or will you risk being outpaced by competitors who are? Thank you for joining us for this explainer.